welcome back and moving on to our first segment for today. Well, Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli witnessed on Saturday the inauguration of a digital manufacturing center in Helwan engine factory of the Arab Organization for Industrialization. Well, talking about this important event that took place, we have over the phone Dr. Mustafa Waly, the economic expert. Hello.
Hello.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you.
So first of all, I'd like to shed the light on the importance of the Arab Organization for Industrialization, its potentials, and also talking about this important digital center.
Well, the importance of this huge and well-established organization over the years is now evident in this great achievement and the latest of the technology they have there and their introduction to a lot of new items badly needed in our daily life, whether for construction or for whatever is needed in a full construction work of a country actually looking for development like Egypt, like us. And I was lucky actually to have some idea about this organization long ago. And especially in this latest, what we are talking about, latest achievement, having this fantastic center, which is actually called, should be, and that's its name, you know, manufacturing, digital manufacturing center, you know. When we say digital, then we are talking about the latest technology. We are talking about the latest in the human being achievement when it comes to what we call precision engineering, based on great deal and in-depth knowledge of the latest when it comes to information technology and IT in general. That's it. The situation is really, and it's really fascinating to watch. It was really for me very, very fascinating to watch the presentation yesterday and the remarks of His Excellency Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli and all the great men around him who were behind this achievement. And I feel very happy. Actually, in the first place, being an engineer who wanted to be in this business and tried my best since some 40 years ago. That's my first remark in general.
Well, President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi stressed the importance of localization our resources, and actually this also what was mentioned by Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli. So if I'm talking about this important project and also talking about its impact on the Egyptian economy as well.
Yeah, when we talk about this very important issue when it comes to, let's say, localizing or deepening the local content, our locally 100% locally production when it comes to get into a final product, you know, the semi-products we have to have purely Egyptian, increasing the content up till we reach 100% Egyptian product in every sense of the industrial and economic explanation. That will be great. And just to give a figure, you know, I was very fascinated, but in this figure, actually, it's 78%. That's what and I believe these people when they talk like that, because it's true on the ground, that it's 70% local content. The President Sisi was so keen about this. He was always talking about it, because actually at the end it shows that how far we are developing in the right way. Because the more you can rely on your capacity, the more you utilize your raw materials, everything available to you to get to have a competing product in the industrial world, especially in the industrial world in the first place. That's something actually soon we'll see the result. You know, it will directly affect, as you were mentioning now, the economy. At least, you know, it will reduce the bill of the import of similar components. And in the products of this center yesterday of the AOI was evident, that because we can have 78% of at least what we need, because we are having this quantity or this percentage of materials, local materials, and expertise and manufacturing.
Sir, you are taking me to another important point that I want to focus on, why it is a must now to localize and deepen the local manufacturing of equipment of water pumps in particular.
Well, it's a must because it will prove something. First of all, it's a must because we have to, nothing will reduce the bill of imports for the essential requirements for our development, because we are seeking development and we are in a developing phase, high developing phase, and it needs a lot of sophisticated equipment. It needs a lot of best in production and methods and the latest technologies, because we are developing on the right basis this time. We want to recap what we have lost before and what we have missed before. In this case, increasing the local capacity with the international standards, this immediately will return back on your economy, because you will save, at least when we talk about the hard currency, we will save for the import a big part, and meanwhile, utilizing what we have into other demand or other needs we need more urgently. So whenever we can do this, we have to do it. Industry is the biggest and the most and the vast area for having this experience of modernization and localization.
Dr. Waly, can we shed more light on the factors of the Arab Organization for Industrialization and its impact on the Egyptian economy?
Well, we'll talk specifically about what we have seen, at least right now. There was a lot over the years, but now we see this inauguration yesterday. It was, as I mentioned, and of course you have seen it. You are airing it now. The product there, the main thing was, we have to talk a little bit specific, because this is the issue actually. We cannot speak but specific. The main product and the most important product there, which we have seen, is pumps, are pumps. And pumps are very, very essential for development, especially for a country who is putting most important project on top, which is decent life. When you talk decent life, it means that you have to prepare and advance and supply all the necessary items or necessary needs for a decent life. For us, in our villages, in our most needy areas in the Egyptian rural areas, we need water, we need clean water, we need water to be retreatment, we need pumps, we need sanitation, and this is that the pump system and pumping systems and pumping machinery are really essential. That is something it's a kind of ABC for those who are developing, who are in the project and in the area of developing in rural areas and even in urban areas, And the demand there. But so some figure shows the importance and the success. That figure says that according to the figures they mentioned yesterday, they say that it was said that if we got into traditional way of manufacturing, then we can get maximum 25 pumps per month. Now they are producing 200, and that shows you, and 200 pumps with the best qualities and with the latest technologies, which means that an endurance, you get very, very good results from having this.
Right. Dr. Waly, talking about all the efforts exerted by the Egyptian leadership when it comes to the projects and the idea of the localization and all these important measures adopted, there is also a clear efforts taken and adopted by the Egyptian leadership when it comes to the human capital as well.
Yeah, yeah, of course. You see, getting into such big mobilization of a whole nation, the human capital will be at the end and in the beginning, is always in the beginning and always will be with you. That without the right and the qualified human being, you cannot achieve what you want exactly. Because when you develop your people, when you raise the standard of education, when you upgrade the education level in all aspects, and especially when it comes to, let's say, the technical side, and the knowledge itself, when you get from, primary school up to the university and above, the more you develop this, it's an investment in the human capital. That's what will get you a human capital capable of handling all what you need, and at least it will make it less problematic when things you don't have and you want to acquire to have it. That's simply my understanding for human capital, simply in this way.
I think also parallel with this, the idea of the digitalizing the Egyptian industries as well.
Yes, this is because, as I told you in the beginning, this is the latest. I mean, digitalizing is the latest. And I hope, allow me to remind the late Dr. Zuel, that professor and that scientist, that great Nobel laureate, was always thinking of digitization. He was always talking about it, and I was really lucky to witness this myself in his visits, especially early visits after getting Nobel laureate. So digitization, you are talking about the latest in the human being mind and actual, both mind, which means, science, and then application. Then you got the expertise in both sides, the level of what we call science as science and the application of science, which is in this case technology and industry.
So we can say that all of these Egyptian leadership efforts moving in parallel also with the concept of the sustainable development and Egypt's vision for 2030. How do you see this?
I see it matching. I see it, and I hope it will be proved by time. It will give a success story, because we can't be, just temporary. Sustainability should be a very important concept in our ideology, in our looking for, in our looks, in our side to the life now and the future. Because I think when we talk about sustainability, we will find that when we analyze, the march of the Egyptian people over the years, over centuries, especially in the late 2 centuries, and the sustainability was not there actually. Now we are working on it on its real basis. Real basis, that it means that it should be the belief and the concept of everyone having his own business, whatever is always looking for development, always looking for sustainability, in that he can match whatever will happen in his area of application, whether he's a farmer, he's a landlord, he's an industrialist, he's a professor. The concept of sustainability means that always development is the basic and the motive.
How far can we say that education is moving also in parallel with all these concepts? I mean, if we are talking about the newly adopted majors required for the market now, the demands are completely different, especially after the digitalization that now is taking place all around Egypt and, of course, all around the world. So how do you see the education in parallel with this and the preparations adopted for the new generation, in addition to the training, of course, for efficiency?
Uh, in this case, it starts always from the primary school, you know. I mean, from and going up, because all the courses, all the curricula must be totally devoted in its level, you know, from the school, I mean, up to the university. It should be the curricula should be devoted to latest in science and technology. And now they are affordable. Look what we have now, the accessibility to science and learning from having this, this fantastic revolution in IT business, which of course includes, of course, the internet and all this communication, all the speed which we can get to data, to information, if we are serious to know, if we have the basic education. So again, it will get back to the basic education, how to develop it, so that everything will be at quite accessible. The only thing is you have the will, the international will, I mean the national will, and devotion and determination. And this what I feel right now. It's moving, it's going up, it's building up more and more.
So talking also about all these projects taking place, taking into consideration the climate change as well, and we have seen this in the recent conference that took place, COP in Sharm el-Sheikh. In addition to all this, talking also about the clean energy and the hydrogen and other projects that took place for reaching the sustainable development, again, what we were talking about.
Exactly, you know. You know, when we talk about sustainable development, sustainability itself, it means that the basic should be always around, and even if you can increase, if you can develop. So, for example, energy will always, and now we see, it was always, but you know, it has a relation between the demand and the actual situation and the demand. The problem is that the increase in the demand for energy made any energy should be used. Right now, we reach the critical point of the effect of all the fuels, of all the energies, which will give feedback into negative effect. For example, the main thing is the fossil fuel. You know, the renewable energy by itself is a green field, fantastic green and vast field. All what it needs that, okay, how much we can get to its essence and its understanding and how to deal with it, how we get the right cadres and capacities of people and mentalities which can handle this. The COP27 was a real landmark, and it will be from now on a landmark in the whole world. March towards cleaner energy. We are in Egypt, are blessed by the sun, mainly the sun. You know, I mean, not mainly. I mean, when it comes to renewable energy, and we should make as much use of it as we can, and especially and also wind. So this will be an addition to our devotion and our efforts for development. If we could manage, and I think we can, as people, as nation, as Egypt, to have a specific positioning, international position when it comes to production of energy, of clean energy, and in this case could be, by the way, solar energy and hydrogen, you know, using hydrogen, which is a very nice story. And can I tell you, just I read today, actually, about these two golden licenses for two hydrogen factories. it was very good news. I didn't get into the details, but I received this data, I received this information.
Right, Dr. Mustafa Waly, economic expert, thank you very much for joining us. Right, and moving on to a quick break, then we'll be back with more on The Breakfast Show.